I know what y'all thinking. Ain't we done with Dalton and Thornton Township, child? So did I. But baby, shout out to Reaper, first of all, Hannibal, Stay Hungry, second of all, and third of all, the Lansing Journal, because the foolery is still going strong. And yes, the fourth shout-out goes to the clown show known as Dalton Politics, because they are still down there causing chaos like it's their full-time job. And from the looks of it, the township ain't learned a single thing since Tiffany's downfall, because now the salary scandal has returned. And this time, Napoleon Harris is in the hot seat. So, according to this Lansing Journal article dated July 8th, the new Thornton Township supervisor's salary is raising eyebrows and blood pressure. I'm talking 6 figures worth of Remember when Big Tiff was out here screaming illegal ego? Who? What kind of madness was she really hinting at? Because now FOIA docs are pulling receipts, and it looks like Napoleon might pulled a classic Thornton heist in plain sight. If you recall, when Tiffany took over from the late Frank Zuccarelli, may he rest, she inherited his $200,000 plus salary and tried to make it permanent for herself. But when she got called out, allegedly, they told her, nah, sis, you can't finesse the law like that. And now, boom, enter Napoleon, who reportedly walked in and scooped up a $200,000 plus check like it's casual lunch money. But wait, he's also a state senator, and somehow that's being treated like it's not a conflict of interest. Sir, you supervising 17 townships, and you're at the Capitol too. What in the legislative juggle is going on here? Because if these numbers are right, Napoleon Harris is pocketing nearly $300,000 a year. But let's not guess. Let's get into what the Lansing Journal actually said. And quick shout out to Paul Roberts for keeping them facts straight, because they did have to make a little correction. But even with that, the bottom line is this. With his Senate pay plus his Thornton Township check, Napoleon stands to make a slick $292,000 a year. MMH. This is who they wanted. Y'all, this is who they voted for. And now, baby, it's Dacia. Vu all over again. Same township, new face, same shady math, and then plot twist, enter WGN-TV's Ben Bradley. He pulled up to the township admin building right after Napoleon finished a 4-hour candidate forum and didn't come to play. He asked the question we all been wondering, sir. Do you think that salary is appropriate? And instead of answering, Napoleon reportedly got defensive. Like, real defensive. Told Ben that he was implying something wrong and that wasn't fair. Sir, it's a simple question. You just got here. You already making headlines for ducking accountability. We back in season 1 of the Tiffany saga. And the gag is it's only been what? 3 months since he officially stepped into the role? April, May, June, July, 3 months or less. And already the township is in salary controversy. Child Casey, the township clerk, had to release the documents herself. And guess what? The people are once again left doing the math, filing the FOIAs, and asking how public servants are living better than the public. Ain't nobody tired of this circus yet? Or do they just keep swapping out the ringmasters? Nesbitt. Who? Okay. At least somebody over there still got a working printer. Wait a minute. Wasn't there another lady handling this? Oh no, she over there at Dalton. Never mind. Stay with me. So the township clerk, Miss Casey Nesbitt, turned over some documents to citizen activist Paul Roberts. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Roberts for keeping the heat on, according to that FOIA drop. Napoleon Harris's salary as supervisor is listed at $22,950. I beg your entire pardon, because that right there violates the township's very own salary schedule from 2020. Now, that sliding pay scale clearly states that a first-time supervisor should start at $57,200, and only after 7 terms do they top out at around $202,950. But it looks like Napoleon allegedly skipped all them terms and said, I'll take the max, thank you very much. And get this, in addition to being Thornton Township supervisor, he's still pulling a full salary as an Illinois state senator at $89,250. So now his combined income sits pretty at $292,200. Let's not even play. That's basically $300K for 2 jobs in this economy, sir. And it gets juicier. A survey from township officials of Illinois showed that in Napoleon's area, Zone 1, which covers Cook, Kane, DuPage, Lake, and Will counties, none of the supervisors in 82 responding townships made more than $100,000. The majority were earning somewhere between $20,000 and $29,000. But somehow, Napoleon slid right in, and boom, he's cashing checks like he's running a private corporation. And just like his predecessors, Tiffany Henyard and Frank Zuccarelli, who also walked away with $223,000 plus salaries, history repeating itself. Huh. Oh, but let's talk staff. Thornton Township is reportedly paying Carla Cotton Burus, who's Allegedly, Napoleon's chief of staff, $120,049 a year. Baby, for a position that doesn't even appear on the township's website. What does she do? Because nobody knows. Meanwhile, trustees Mary Avant, Chris Gonzalez, Valeria Stubbs, and Byron Stanley are all pulling $14,710. Sounds reasonable, until you realize 3 of them are in their first term and should only be making $11,195, so they're getting overpaid. 2, the only one who's correctly paid is Gonzalez in his second term. Finance Director Robert Hunt, yes, he's still there, earns a slick $116,455 a year. And when someone asked him about the tentative budget, he said, "Ask Clerk Nesbitt." Sir, how you the finance guy, but you don't do finance talk? Everybody, pointing fingers while cashing checks. Nesbitt herself makes $17,825, which is correct. But let's not ignore the fact that she's the one who sent in the salary docs on herself. Okay, moving on. Highway Commissioner Antoine Russell, shout out to Antoine, is making $27,519. The schedule says he should be making $17, 8 to 5. So yeah, another $10,000 over the limit. Assessor Cassandra Stahn is pulling $53,716, which appears to be correct since nobody flagged it. But let's pause. Hard pause. Keith Price is still listed as Food Pantry Manager, making $72,219. The Keith Price, the Henyard loyalist. Y'all remember how he mellowed out near the end? Started being all polite? Didn't drop a pound, but came through like Heavy D's little cousin trying to play nice. Well, child, it paid off. Because he's still there, still eating, still managing, and still pulling taxpayer dollars like nothing ever happened. So, to sum it up, Tiffany's out. But clearly, the shady finances are still in. Was Tiffany telling the truth when she said they'd be lying, 'cause they'd be lying? Let me be clear, this ain't a Tiff redemption arc. She had plenty of mess. But baby, it's obvious she wasn't the only one playing funny with the finances. Now, the township is setting a public hearing for July 22nd at 5 p.m. to review budgets. You might want to pull up 'cause the road, bridge, and general funds all got fingerprints on them. The tea is steeping, and the public's invited, so maybe it's time to start watching Thornton Township again. Because y'all remember when they dragged Napoleon into that gym and locked Big Tiff out. She said none of her people could get in, and we all laughed. But now it's giving. Convenient power grab, all that noise just to install Napoleon. So he could pocket $200,000 plus that state senator. Check. Life's looking very cozy for him. But as for the taxpayers, it's giving same script, different actor. HM but child. What do I know? Who, chili? We gone keep an eye on this. Trust and believe. Shout out to everybody that made it to the end. Real ones only. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss when we spin the block on Thornton Township again. Because baby, this mess is far from over. And to the folks pushing fake narratives online, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. How you black and still out here simping for corruption, defending nonsense like it's a full-time job? Got the nerve to cape for a black woman in power when she's been abusing it? Nah, this ain't about race, this about receipts. You going to jail? You going to jail? And that seat you holding onto for dear life, Unes, is that seat. Pack it up, hand over the badge, and go. Ain't nobody above the law, not even the ones with black girl magic. Bumper stickers on their TESLAS. And to the person who stood up in public and said, "I want to express my deepest gratitude to Tiffany Henyard and her team. Miss, come here, shut your stupid ass up, Say it to my face. I dare you, because that kind of delusion needs to be checked in broad daylight. So once again, we gon' stay on this, because clearly the circus ain't left town. New ringmaster.